Easiest question of the day. Can you tell me your first and last name and spell it out for me?
Yes, my name's Eugene McCauley.
Can you spell it for me?
Yes, McCallie.
And your first name as well?
Kenneth.
Oh.
Well, I go by Eugene.
And can you just make sure I want to make sure I spell it correctly.
Eugene.
Okay. And then what would you consider your title?
Farm manager.
And so kind of like the questions, I told you my story today is about, I've been told that, prices are going up and maintaining cattle, and that might impact the prices in the grocery store of beef. Can you explain to me if you've had any increased prices, like it costs more to maintain, like if you're experiencing the last year or two of maintaining cattle and the prices with that?
Yes, input costs for raising cattle, it has dramatically increased, especially since 2020. That was probably some of our largest increases. Fertilizer, seed to replant our fields, fuel cost, labor cost, all of those drove up our feed costs that we purchase feed for supplementing feeding. Equipment costs have dramatically increased over the past 5 years, which in turn drives up the cost that we have to charge for our cattle that's going to market. We're a cow-calf operation. We primarily sell to the local stock market, the stockyard, which in turn, those are producers that are on the larger feedlots out in the Midwest, which will raise the calves on up to probably around 11 to 1,500 pounds, and then they're processed from there.
And so what is the process of you having a I don't know the technical term, is it heifer or is it cat? Can you explain the terms?
Yeah, we raise our own heifers, and they're called replacement heifers. We keep those if they're genetically sound. We purchase genetically sound bulls to raise the future calves with, and you're really looking for one that not only puts on poundage at a faster rate, but you also want an animal that's very docile. That means it's very calm, they're easy to keep, and doesn't cause you a lot of problems. They do have higher weight gains in some of the breeds, but they're not as easy to keep in a small farm.
And so what would be the process of, you said selling it to the stock market, what would be the process from, a cow, a calf, all the way to just selling it?
We will allow the calves to stay with their mother. They usually wean at an age of 5 to 6 months. Then we will separate them and put them on a heavy forage area with a lot of grass, and we also do supplementing feeding to increase the weight gain on them.
And looking at my questions, have you seen you said since 2020 you've seen a significant price, increase. Has that been the most significant you've seen in your time, or is it, every few years prices go up?
It's been steadily increasing. Mine, I'm fifth generation on this farm. It steadily increases. You will have spikes. You'll have times that it increases dramatically, and then sometimes the prices will recede a little bit. But our input cost, they're always on a steady climb, and the best that you can hope for is that your prices for your calves that you receive increases at least the same along that grade increase.
And how much like, resources does it take to maintain this cattle to sell?
For a good rule of thumb, a good procedure is to have approximately 2 acres per cow. You need that to maintain enough forage for them to eat, to maintain their weight, plus get the gains that you need.
And can you explain to me what products you use for these cattle, or like what goes into that? Like, I'm obviously don't know. This is your world. I don't really know much about it. Just so, can you explain to me, like, the certain amount, like the food you get or products you use to maintain these cattle?
Okay, we try to raise as much forage, hay for them as possible, whether it come in a form of pasture that they graze on or the hay that we store up to supplement feed them through the winter months when grass growth is slower. We also buy supplement feed. We get those from a local distributor. That is necessary to keep the nutrients, and you also have input cost of minerals to maintain health in the herd, and all of the medicine, veterinarian cost also have to be factored into that. We try to do as much as possible ourselves, but there is times that we do require a veterinarian to come on site.
And this is a little bit off the questions because I did some research since I sent you these questions. I've heard some cattle farmers were having to hold on to some of their heifers this year because of these rising prices. Is that something you had to do here at your farm?
It makes it challenging. To maintain a healthy herd, you're a continual process of your older cows having to go ahead and sell them. I maintain my mother cows sometimes 12, 15 years, where some people are on 10-year rotation. If you're on a 10-year rotation, obviously you've got to keep more heifers or go elsewhere and purchase heifers to incorporate in the herd.
How old does a heifer need to be before you sell?
Approximately 10 to 15 years.
And is there anything that you would like people who don't really know about this stuff to know about the rising prices or just cattle farming in general?
Yes. The costs that we incur for what we receive when we do sell cattle, it's a very thin margin. I know you go to the grocery store and prices are astronomical. That's not the prices that we get at the stock barn when we sell. There's a wide margin between, we call it on the hoof prices versus the boxed beef prices that you see on the shelf. There's a tremendous cost through the processing and transportation and the other feedlots. Their input cost has to be included in that. So our profit margin is very narrow versus what a person may think at the end user with the packaged beef.
And do you think that these rising prices, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but you said the last couple of years it's dramatically gone up. Do you think that will impact, a person just going to the grocery store buying ground beef?
Yes. Yes, it does impact it. Obviously, the more that we receive for our product at the stock market, it impacts the shelf price also. There's other factors that come into play. You have drought. We've been contending with not major but somewhat significant drought in our area, which in turn impacts your pastures. So therefore it drives the prices up because there's less animals to go into the market.
And you kind of touched on that drought part and the other. What would you consider, in your expert opinion, is part of the reason why these prices are going up?
It's several factors. I mean, it ranges from equipment to supplement feed costs to fertilizer costs to just general operating costs, which can be fuel, insurance, property taxes. And then if a person has to purchase the property, which is very unheard of in today's world, to go into raising cattle. Most all of the property today, just as I am a recipient of it, it's been inherited, and to be able to go out and purchase land, which is astronomical, all of these costs are direct input costs that drives the prices up.
And do you think inflation might have had a little bit of a factor in the last couple of years?
It does. And on top of all what I've just mentioned, labor costs, the cost to have someone come in and work for you on the farm, those labor costs have dramatically increased.
Is there anything else I didn't specifically ask you that you would like people to know about cattle farming, pricing, or anything on this topic?
Mostly the reason that I stay in it is because I love it. It's been my life, my entirety. I love the ability to teach younger generations the value, because each and every individual, they love to eat, and it takes the farmer to produce that food, regardless whether it's beef cattle or produce or whatever it may be. It's a very significant thing that we need to always maintain. It is a healthy environment to produce the food we need.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was it.